In our next example, we're going to build a perimeter soffit that houses a shade pocket with a horizontal run of 42 inches and a vertical run of 2 feet. That will likely transition into an acoustical ceiling. Our jig table for this build, we have constructed a little differently to give you another way to build your jig templates. On 3/4 inch plywood, we are cutting a slotted groove that the flange of your drywall grid will lie into as you form your soffit main runner. As on the previous build, we are aligning our full-size main runner alongside our story pole to mark our cut locations prior to bending the main runner. On this build, where the main runner bends in on itself, we are cutting to allow overlap of the main's web and bulb, which will be hammered flat on a jig table. Notice how half of the main runner fits nicely into the groove we have cut into the plywood. At the bends where the web and bulb overlaps, we are simply hammering those locations flat for easy installation of the DW90 clips. The DW90 clips, which are also available in 30, 45, and 60-degree bends, are just screwed into the main runner with 4 7/16 inch sharp point framing screws. What if your soffit has an odd-sized angle, like say 54 degrees? The RC2 clip helps you achieve most other size angles you may run up against when building soffits. At large upturns like this 24-inch upturn, we want to kick back with a 45-degree scrap brace back to the horizontal portion of the soffit main runner. To get your first couple frames out of the plywood template, just pry them out. The remaining frames will insert and remove easily. Again, if these are made off-site, just shrink wrap them and send them out to the job site. Here, we are installing 20 running feet of this perimeter pocket soffit. There are only 6 bent main runner frames, and at only 2 wires per frame, only 12 wires will hold this soffit up. Like on the previous installation, 4-foot lateral cross tees are installed on 16-inch centers. To help square up the first 2 main runners, we are screwing some diagonal T-scrap to the face of the soffit to hold it into place until the whole installation is finished and braced. The use of a laser card makes it easy to accurately pre-bend your wires prior to installing your bent soffit mains. With the first 2 mains diagonally braced, we can easily apply the pressure needed to stab our 4-foot cross tees into place. Just look down along this soffit. If you built this soffit out of stud and track, would you be continuing vertically with studs all the way to structure, which obstructs the MEP trades and adds unnecessary labor and material to your project? To ensure absolute squareness, run your dry lines under a cross tee route hole prior to installing your cam angle. Once aligned with every route hole, secure your soffit main to the cam angle at the wall. 3 runs of cam will be installed at the 2 pocket bends, as well as the outside 2-foot vertical bend. To backload and strengthen where your breakform pockets will screw attach inside the pocket, simply lay pre-cut 3/4 inch plywood into the grid, then screw attach to the drywall grid. Again, you can't match the squareness and simplicity of this structurally sound drywall grid soffit that we built in only 30 minutes. If you're installing breakform pockets that require this type of pre-framing, they just simply screw into your plywood backers that you just installed. Here's a recent seismic DEF perimeter soffit project. There's 10,000 running feet of this soffit with 2,500 4-foot on center braces to structure. With Armstrong shop drawings and independent local engineering, this soffit was redesigned to seismic DEF standards with 4-foot on center bent drywall mains and only 1,250 8-foot on center seismic braces to structure. This cut the brace quantity in half, and saved 8,750 lineal feet of studs to structure.